All right, y'all. I'm ready to do a live. This right here is not technically gonna be the live. I'm just doing this just to. I know I don't rotate and circulate in the algorithm when it comes to going live. So I'm just putting this out here. So anyway, I'm gonna take a few minutes after this to get myself together as far as what kind of topics I'm gonna be ready to bring up and let it be. I don't even know what the title is gonna be, but I'm pretty much looking at it being more than one topic, maybe more like a open. Let me see, open panel. Heck, I don't know, cause the thing about it is I'm not familiar with. I don't have StreamYard, and I'll just be trying to go live. So I don't know what I'll be able to do. But then I might have to ask help. But anyway, like I said, I just feel it's a need for it's time for this to happen. I've been hesitating or I haven't been motivated to do it. So anyway, yeah, it's just that time. Like I said, I'll come in with a few different topics to move around on, and rotate when I see that it might be necessary to change a topic. I'll have them at hand. So anyway, let me think of a couple of more things that I might need to say before and I might stay. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on here. Just even going, just like a pre-live, I guess you could say, an introduction to a live. Because, like I said, I feel like it's a few things that need to be talked about, and me myself personally, I need to quit playing around and just go ahead and jump into it instead of, marinating and thinking and brainstorming and then going to other lives. But yeah, it's that time today. And like I said, I don't know how long I'll spend on it. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Um, you can tell you can feel the different vibes going on out here, just different levels of everything. So like I said, things need to be talked about, and I know it's a lot of craziness that goes on the YouTube streets. So sometimes that can still be part of the conversation, but it can't just be the head banger, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that's being talked about, like I said, it needs to be a different, a multiple amount of different topics that you can come in and chime in on and pull back out and then go to another topic. So that's the kind of live that I want to put out here. So, I really didn't want to go live this quick. I thought I was going to have to put in a title and all of that. And it just skipped all the way to the doggone live. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to come back and have like a few different topics that can be touched on. And however it goes, if it spreads out to a certain a longer time limit on that topic, then that's cool. And if it kind of dies down, like I said, it's other topics that can be brought to the table. Like I said, let me tap in on this real quick. Like I said, I know I've talked to several people, even through the YouTube streets, throwing out there some of the dreams and visions that I've had. And that's another reason why I feel like some things need to be brought to the forefront to put out there and elaborate on it and talk about it in a decent way. Throw some things out there coming from different people. Other people elaborate on it and tell how they feel. And then also the vibe of some things that need to be spoken on, um, as far as throwing it out there for other people to understand. Because in this thing that we call life, sometimes we could be confused, and we might have thoughts on our mind, and might have questions, and somebody else might be calm enough and balanced out enough to even answer that. Or God might even just put somebody else that might not even be all that balanced, maybe to come across and say something that needs to be said. That's just how life is. So anyway, um, let me think. Let me try to brainstorm right here, real quick. I don't know how long I'm going to spend on ready to do a live. And another thing, I guess, uh, never mind on that one. I'll figure it out. Like I said, sometimes you just got to go with the flow. And that was one of my sayings back in the day, and somewhat now. Just go with the flow. I got to go with the flow instead of trying to think something out days and weeks and months. So, like I said, anyway, I'm going to tap back in. I'm going to go ahead and jot down a few things that I feel like the topic needs to be. And like I said, even if I come in and I only do a live, I'm going to just give the shortest amount of time that I can think of real quick. Maybe coming in doing a live that's maybe only 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. And then I'm going to try my best to come back later on, even after that live. Because I got some things that might be taking place, and I might have to stop and come back in. So it is what it is. Hell, I know I'm one of the ones that can be up late night anyway. So I like I said, I'm gonna go with the flow. Come back, do a part two or whatever, or I might just let it be on somebody else's live. I don't know. But like I said, there needs to be more than one type of topic that can be spoken on. Like I said, it's not just about some of the stuff that's going on that you consider just craziness, chaos. And some of the craziness and chaos just needs to kind of be directed maybe in a different way, where people can talk this stuff out and get out what they need to say, and get it put out on the table, so some of the stuff can be kind of diffused. Like I know it's some people out there that they feel like, oh, I love the chaos. Oh, I love the craziness. I just gotta have it. Okay, well, it happens, and at some point, even the people that you think is super just so enjoying the craziness, they get to a point, I can't stand it no more. Oh, my ears are aching. Oh, it's just too much. And I even deal with it, because I'm like, sometimes I just tap in just to tap in, and I might be trying to focus on, looking at the craziness, and then or doing something else, but it's like, damn, 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 it be too much. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. Hey, Blended, I see you. How you doing? Glad to see you in here. But yeah, and I want to, and I want it to be where, even if it has to be every so often or whatever, it's places that everybody can go to, where everybody can come in and everybody can get on the panel. Some people are not going to show their face. That's just how it goes. And some people, they don't have a problem showing their face on a regular basis. But I just feel like sometimes people that might want to be involved in the glad yeah, appreciate it. I'm glad you caught it too. Like I said, this is like a pre-introduction, because I'm not one to quickly do a live, and I'm just throwing this out here to be like a pre-introduction to a regular live, because like I said, it's on my mind. And I know when everybody's like, oh, who else is going live? And I'm one of them that can be on that mode. But it's just time. It's just time for me to get out here, at least do this type of live. Like I've done another type of live before, that might have not had anything to do with people coming up on the panel or whatnot. So anyway, yeah, just the introduction. I don't know how the vibe is gonna be. I'm gonna try to be transparent on a certain level, because just like I've said several times, sometimes I don't like being a part of certain topics or situations. And even if I do feel like, oh, I might want to say something, sometimes, even though I do say stuff at certain times, a lot of times I'm like, nah, what? Hey, news, how you doing? Yeah, even though sometimes I might want to chime in and put in my opinion or what I feel, sometimes I'll be like, nah, it's too much. It's too much going on. So, like I said, I'm going to try to be transparent, and certain things that I might not necessarily be ready to do and let happen. I just feel like in some cases it's just time for this stuff to kind of be touched on, and even in my lane, you know what I'm saying, in my lane over here, like you. So anyway, like I said, this is more like a production. I mean a pre live to an actual live. So that's what I'm doing right now. And like I said, I'll have a few different topics. I can kind of quickly jot down a few things that I feel like, okay, we can, have a few to choose from. And that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, and just like I know Trey A has said before, and maybe other people have commented on it, sometimes you have to wait a while. But that's another reason for me to jot down some things where I can come in and speak on some things for a minute and give people time to come in. So I guess pretty much that's all I have to say right this minute. And like I said, I'm going to try to be transparent and deal with situations or be ready to deal with situations or topics that not necessarily topics, but situations that I might not normally want to deal with. Like some people might remember before when I did start trying to do regular lives, But anyway, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know what time it is right now, but yeah, Blended, I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all tapping in. The few people that tapped in, some people commented, of course, we used to that because I do it too sometimes. For the ones that did not comment, I appreciate you coming through and giving me a like. So, because I can tell that it's been people that's came through that gave me likes that they probably didn't comment. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try not to be even 30 minutes before I tap back in to starting a live. I'm gonna try not to be, but I can get the messing around. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like it's a lot of things to tap in on. And I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, I appreciate it, News. Like I said, no more than 30 minutes if I can help it, if nothing comes up. But I am waiting for one of my people, so I don't know how that goes. But anyway, like I said, even if I just do it for 30 minutes, 45 to an hour, because I'm supposed to be contacted, so I can do the live as long as I'm not contacted. And I can tell him to call me on another phone where it doesn't even disturb. So anyway, it's been long enough. Yeah. What's going on, Oak Cliff? Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like I said, I also welcome the folks that stay down in the chats, and everybody else. Please try to if somebody gets up on the panel that doesn't normally get up on the panel, let them be. You know what I'm saying? That cam up. I mean, that's why some people probably don't even get on the panel, because they have to hear that kind of rhetoric. But I mean, it's okay when y'all want to laugh and joke or whatnot, but when we try to have some serious conversation, let people, if they get brave enough to even just come up on the panel and they haven't been up on there, just let them come and just and relax. You know what I'm saying? And be part of the conversation. So anyway, like I said, I appreciate y'all for coming in. I'm gonna go ahead and end it now. And like I said, within about 30 minutes or less, I'm gonna try to get back on the live. And I appreciate y'all. All right.